Hi everyone, I'm Samantha, and this is my course lecture titled Ethical Implications of Holocaust Education for a graduate Holocaust course. So, aside from learning about the Holocaust and listening to survivor stories and learning about the more factual side, and the events that the victims went through, it is also important to understand why learning and understanding the Holocaust is important. The major argument in the discussion of Holocaust education is that when students are more exposed to the Holocaust as a subject, it helps build a sense of morality in students. Holocaust education should not just start in college years, and it is something that should be taught to high schoolers and maybe even is something that should start in middle school. And the big issue today is that there is a lack of schools teaching students about the Holocaust and it being done properly. That's another big issue is um, how it should be done and the right way to be teaching the Holocaust because it is such a sensitive topic. And things that need to be taken into consideration when teaching such a delicate topic are materials and the significance of the material being taught. You know, you want to make sure that you're teaching the Holocaust with a purpose and not just teaching it to teach. In an article by David Lindquist, Developing Holocaust Curricula, the content decision making process. He says there are four things that need to be considered before teaching the Holocaust or any material for that matter. And number one is the validity and significance of the content for the intended purpose of education. Two is the learnability of the content by the students for whom the curriculum is being planned. Three, the appropriateness of the content for the needs, maturity level, and interests of those learners. And four, the consistency of the content relative to the social, culture, and political climate in which the unit is being presented. And I feel those four go for any level of education, whether that's your seventh or eighth graders or your undergraduate, graduate students. I feel like there always needs to be significance and intent to what you are planning to teach, especially with topics such as the Holocaust. And regarding why there needs to be an increase in Holocaust education, we need to look at the benefits besides just learning the surface level information and look deeper into how it can help society and benefit students. There are two studies that were done in 2020 that look at Holocaust education on two different perspectives. I feel that looking at these studies help bring the numbers to life and put them in more of a reality. I can sit here all day and, you know, and say that a lot of people don't know what the Holocaust is or when it happened or how many people were killed. But when you look at the physical numbers, it brings the problem more to light and makes you realize just how bad the issue is of people not knowing and how the issue is progressing over time as well. So, just a little about the study and its findings. The first one focuses on public knowledge, and the results were quite disheartening. It was a nationwide study with 11,000 interviews of Gen Z and millennials. So bear in mind, these were all interviews of adults under 40. So of those interviewed, over 1 in 10 did not recall ever having heard the word Holocaust before, just in general. And nearly half could not name a single concentration camp or ghetto. And 63% did not know that 6 million people were killed in the Holocaust and they thought that it was um, a lot less than that number. And Deborah Lipstadt, a professor of modern Jewish history and Holocaust studies at Emory University, stated, "When you learn the history of the Holocaust, you are not simply learning about the past." Lip said, "These lessons remain relevant today in order to understand not only anti Semitism, but also all other isms of society. There is real danger to letting them fade." And this is in regards to sexism and tokenism and racism. And so, learning about the Holocaust can also have a ripple effect into all these other issues that we're seeing, even in society today, especially. So this segues into the main debate of why we need to be teaching our students the Holocaust. Having knowledge of the Holocaust helps develop a better sense of morality. The Holocaust was such a breach of human rights that um, it can help raise ethical questions and get students to think on a level of morals and ethics. The Holocaust demonstrates the dangers of discrimination and intolerance, and when we and shows what happens when we dehumanize marginalized groups of people. The second survey looks at how Holocaust education is effective in building empathy and tolerance. The survey was conducted on US college students at four-year universities between the ages of 18 and 24. And they compared students that had a Holocaust education in high school and those that did not. And those that and it showed that 8 out of 10 had some form of Holocaust education, and they estimated that it was about a month or less of their whole 4 years of high school. And those with a Holocaust education showed to have a more pluralistic attitude and are more open to differing viewpoints, which include being comfortable with different races and people of different sexual orientations and different viewpoints, and just those that were more different than them. And 28% are more likely to challenge incorrect or biased information. And 20% were more likely to stand up to negative stereotyping. And the study had a lot more other statistics, but I just wanted to point out some of the big ones that I felt were really important to the whole of just how the Holocaust can create open-minded and ethical students. So when students are better educated on the Holocaust, it develops their values and morals and creates tolerant humans that practice empathy in society. Those that understand the Holocaust can better make connections to modern day events. Over the years, there has been a rise in anti Semitic incidents, and this is due to lack of education and people not understanding the Holocaust. And in CNN, there was an article written just in March of this year, and it stated, while the American Jewish community is very aware of rising anti-Jewish sentiment, the general American public is not, said Robert Williams, a historian and executive director of the USC Shoah Foundation Institute for Visual History, um, who was also involved in the ADL report, which was one of the statistics that we looked at just a little while ago. And non-Jewish populations in the United States haven't quite come to the point of making the realization that they also need to stand up against anti-Semitism, and that anti-Semitism is not just a Jewish problem, but it's a collective problem, and it's a threat to national security, and it's a threat to our democracy, Williams stated. And so that alone just shows that with the lack of education, that non-Jewish in America alone, we're not aware of the issues that are happening. And with people more educated, they'd be able to be aware of these issues and be more knowledgeable and possibly be able to make a change, and just be more open-minded and empathetic to these people and to what's going on. And I feel like if Holocaust education could start at such a younger age, that it could help develop, students, and they could start developing these characteristics as they start to get older. And, Holocaust education, didn't really start in the US until about the 1970s was when it really started. And over time, I feel like it went through a level of, you know, 1970s it started and it went up and then it started to fade back down again. And I feel like now in this day and time we're at a point where it's the lowest it's ever been, and we are not teaching our students what we should be. And I think we really need to start educating our teachers better on how to teach students, and creating programs that help teachers so that they can go on and teach their students, and just create better programs and show students that if they learn this, how it can help them. And um, I really feel that teaching them this can help develop their values and create open-minded students. And they can look at the Holocaust and look at modern day events and make those connections. And I feel like that's a big part of just history alone, is looking at the past and making connections to the modern day. And I feel like that's a big factor in history. So that's another thing that to look at also at teaching the Holocaust. So that's something that's also really good about it. So I feel like that it's um, a big thing to have. And so it's a big debate in um, in the Holocaust kind of topic right now, is how teaching it to students helps them ethically and morally. Thank you.